Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grand Tour Wrestling Wednesday Night Brawl. I am your host, Infinite Fantasy. We're live here at Richmond, Virginia. The European Tour is now over, and we have returned from Greece. And here comes the winner of this year's Grand Rumble, Bad Boy Benjamin Bourne. This man has spent a year chasing after the Hardcore and Intercontinental Championship, but now he's going to receive the biggest opportunity of his career, eliminating 29 other opponents over the top rope. This man is now the #1 contender for the Grand Tour Championship at the main event of our biggest show, WrestleNova. Richmond, Virginia, you are looking at the winner of the 2026 Grand Rumble, and his name is Bad Boy Bourne. You know, after I eliminated the witch at the end of the Rumble, I had an epiphany. That's right. The moment that bell rang and my music played, I began to think clearly for the first time in a long time. For a year now, an entire year, I've been chasing the Intercontinental Championship. At every turn, I just kept losing, and losing. Chosen beat me twice, actually. Holly Grayson beat me. That title would somehow, one way or another, stay out of my reach. Eventually, I would give up and start chasing the Hardcore title, and again, I was humbled by the monster they call Catalysm. I would leave the arena every night, wake up every day asking myself if I am good enough, if I belong in GTW, but then I won the Rumble and I realized who I am. I am the Bad Boy, Benjamin Bourne, and I'm not meant for some mid-card title. I am not meant to be some second best in the men's division. Hell, I'm not meant to be the first best in the men's division. I'm meant to be the one to win the title. Any competitor from any division, any gender can win. I am meant to be the absolute best, period. I earned my ticket, and now I'm punching it straight to the main event of the greatest stage in GTW, WrestleNova. Now, Witch, I have a ton of respect for you. You were a badass and you took me on. You got in that ring, you gave it all you got, and I'm sorry you will not get your shot at your brother, but take solace that when I face Dio for the Grand Tour title, I want you to make peace that I will kick his ass on your behalf, courtesy of Bad Boy Bourne. Congratulations are in order. The winner of the Grand Rumble. You know, I suppose I owe you a thank you. Thank me? What the hell are you so thankful for? Last I checked... Hold on. I'm not being sarcastic. I actually want to thank you. You see, you eliminated my sister. Now I don't have to go through the displeasure of destroying her in front of thousands inside a large stadium and millions live on pay-per-view. You saved me from doing something I really did not want to do, and that's embarrass the witch. So for that, you have my gratitude. With that said, do not go into WrestleNova believing you are the best, that you will walk out Grand Tour champion. Main eventing is the only guarantee you have on this road to the greatest stage of them all. You are going to face the demon, Sebation, the son of the Hall of Famer, the biggest modern legend. I am the absolute best in GTW. I have defeated Hercules, I have defeated Steven Dynamite, and you, Ben, you are nothing more than a mid-card who can't even win the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe so. Maybe I am just a mid-card. but at least I'm not afraid of my own baby sister. Oh no, Bourne did not just say that. He just called out Dio Sebation. Afraid of the witch? No, I'm not afraid of her. I'm afraid of what I'm capable of doing to her. Just like you should be afraid of what I'm going to do to you when we face off for the Grand Tour Championship. I'll see you at WrestleNova. And there we have it, folks. The words are exchanged. The winner of the Grand Rumble, Benjamin Bourne. The Grand Tour champion, Dio Sebation. The stage is set. We're on the road to WrestleNova. And that's going to be our main event. These two fine men, Benjamin Bourne, will be challenging the Demon, Dio Sebation, for the Grand Tour Championship. Boy, do we have a huge night for you tonight here on BRAWL. Coming up, we got a #1 contender match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Shotzi will be making another appearance here in GTW as she'll be going one-on-one with GTW's own Haley Webb. The winner will be facing Crimson Fox Megan for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Also, we have tag team action as Farouk and Bradshaw of the APA will be going up against Julius and Brutus Creed here tonight. We're set to hear from our new Women's World Champion Amanda Price after an impressive victory defeating Rachel Rodriguez back at our pay-per-view event, the Grand Rumble. We also have a #1 contender match tonight for the United States Championship. He made his debut at the Grand Rumble, but tonight he'll be making his in-ring singles debut as Chris Jericho, now signed over to the GTW, will be going on one-on-one with Shinsuke Nakamura. The winner will be facing Rob Van Dam for the US title. And then our main event here tonight, we saw the Red Faction go up against Hercules and Amber Charlotte and fall short. Tonight they'll have a chance to get a little redemption against the Old Gods as they go up against Rebecca Troy and Damian Maximus of the Olympians here tonight. Mr. Elliot, just the man I've been looking for. I've played your game and won. Now I demand you give me what was promised. I want my World Heavyweight Championship match. Yeah, about that. You see, there's a minor issue. Stone Cold Steve Austin retired after his match, along with the title. What are you saying, Mr. Elliot? What I'm saying, Hercules, you earned a title match for a title that no longer exists in GTW. Very well, I'll gladly accept a match against Dio Sebation for the Grand Tour title then. Sorry, but the Grand Tour title is not part of our agreement. Besides, Benjamin Bourne is now the #1 contender. He did win the Grand Rumble after all. It is impossible to have Dio defend the title now. Listen here, Charles. I was promised a title match. I do not care if you need to reinstate the world title, force Austin out of retirement, or give me a shot at the Grand Tour title. You will make good on your promise. You know, Hercules, for someone as manipulative and cunning as you, I figured you would know a loophole when it was right in front of your face. You get nothing. I see. So you're not a man of your word after all. I guess we're back where we started with my little threat. After all, I still cannot be held accountable for my actions. I wonder if Miss Hater would enjoy some company in the hospital. Tick tock. Charles. Tick tock.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from Cobb County, Georgia, Haley Webb.
And that was some exchange we just had backstage between our director, Charles Elliot, and Hercules. Hercules not too pleased with the situation. The stipulation for the tag team match at the Grand Rumble was if he won, he would get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship, something that Charles promised would never happen unless he could win that match. He put his no accountability clause in his contract on the line to make this deal happen, and now Charles Elliot using the loophole that when Stone Cold won the GTW World Heavyweight title and retired that night, he retired with the belt, and says Hercules cannot compete for a title that no longer exists in the GTW roster. Hercules now threatening that there will be some backlash. However, speaking of championships, we got a #1 contender match coming out right now as Haley Webb steps into the ring about to take on Shotzi Darkheart.
And her opponent from Oakland, California, Shotzi.
And here comes Shotzi, ready for war as she rolls down the ramp in her signature tank. This match will be for the #1 contendership for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Whoever wins tonight will become #1 contender and will be taking on Crimson Fox Megan for the Women's IC belt. And we can see that Shotzi is more than ready here tonight, bringing her instrument of destruction down to the ring, and it looks like she's going to be enjoying the destruction ahead of her. Shotzi has been going around as a free agent, if you will, ever since leaving the WWE. She's been all over the indie scene and has been all over the NWA, making a few appearances here in Grand Tour Wrestling. But will she have what it takes to become a permanent member of the roster? Can she earn her Intercontinental Championship match and defeat Haley Webb? Haley Webb, who by far has been one of the most impressive athletes in the women's roster thus far. And here comes the bell. The two women grapple up in the middle of the squared circle here in our opening match for Wednesday Night Brawl. Haley Webb grabbing Shotzi from behind here. Shotzi struggling to get out of the hold, flailing about here. And we all know that Haley Webb has been very impressive. She has shot up from the undercard. Now, a big star, a huge wrestler here in the mid-card roster in the women's division in GTW. And look at her tightening that headlock. She's got that hold on extremely tight on Shotzi. And as soon as Shotzi went to counter, Haley Webb had an answer for her. And there's Haley Webb stomping the arm, followed by a lion salt. It was last week where Haley Webb nearly made history, becoming the very first women's European champion in a fatal four-way. Unfortunately, the honor ended up belonging to Toni Storm. But still, that's not to discredit someone like Haley Webb, who put on an outstanding performance that night. And now these two women fighting here at ringside to guarantee that we're going to have a #1 contender. This match has been declared a no count out. These two women can fight outside the ring as long as need be. There must be a winner here tonight. And here comes Haley Webb on that top rope. And she flies outside the ring. Both knees smashing into the face of Shotzi. And you can just see how aggressive these two athletes are as they fight right here by our announcer's desk. And there's Shotzi being slammed into the barricade. Haley Webb rolling out of the ring, pacing back and forth, thinking of her strategy, thinking what the next course of action in this match is, and she decides to take a nosedive. Took a little too much time to find that courage as Shotzi able to move out of the way. Now Shotzi moving Haley Webb back inside. The two athletes back in the squared circle. Here comes Haley Webb with an Irish whip. And Shotzi grabbing the ropes to break momentum, but Haley coming in with a lariat elbow. Shotzi having no choice but to get out of the ring to try and gain some distance from Haley Webb. Haley Webb again attempting a high-risk maneuver. Shotzi catching her this time, throwing her off the top rope. And here comes a knee and a leg scissors by Haley Webb. She grapples up. Shotzi being thrown against the ropes. She reverses. Haley Webb rolling over Shotzi and a spinning heel kick. Incredible maneuver and a beautiful technique by Haley Webb. And here she comes. Haley Webb going for the submission hold. She has Shotzi in the middle of the ring. This could be it. Shotzi nowhere to go, and she manages to roll her way out. Haley Webb not satisfied. Now working on the leg of her opponent. A brilliant strategy when they don't tap out, weaken the limbs even further. And now Haley Webb calling it out, marking her target. An amazing suplex by Haley Webb, going for the pin now. 1, 2, 3, and Haley Webb now the #1 contender for the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Here is your winner, Haley Webb.
Impressive victory by Haley Webb here. She'll be going on to Friday Night All-Star in 3 weeks to take on the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Crimson Fox Megan. What can I do for you tonight? I'm so sorry to disturb you. I won't take up much of your time. I just wanted to know if Steven was okay. How is his condition? You will be happy to know that Dynamite's injuries are very minor. He will be out of the hospital in a week. After that, he just needs a physical before he is cleared to be in ring action. Thank you, Mr. Elliot. He won't answer any of my calls or messages. I was getting worried. I assure you, he is in the best of care. Listen, you've been having a rough time. How about you just take the rest of the night off? No, it's fine. That was not a request. Understood. You'll keep me updated, right? The minute I know something, I promise you will too. Thank you, Mr. Elliot. Thank you.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 565 pounds, Farouk and JBL, the Acolytes.
And here comes the APA, the Acolytes Protection Agency, ready to go at it for another bout at tag team action. So far, since reforming the Acolytes, JBL and Farouk have not had much luck winning their tag team matches. But however, they're looking to change that luck here tonight as they go to take on the Creed brothers.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 515 pounds, Brutus and Julius, the Creed brothers.
And here comes Julius and Brutus Creed. Together they are the Creed brothers. They like to fancy themselves on the same technical wrestling level as someone like Kurt Angle, trained by Chad Gable. These two are looking to dominate the tag team world here in GTW. But first, they're going to have to go through the APA. And looks like we're going to be starting off with Brutus Creed and Farouk in tonight's tag team match. Here comes a grapple. Brutus with a forearm smash onto Farouk. Already starting off strong. There's been talks from Farouk on his social media saying he feels like he's washed up, that he hasn't been able to win a single match, whether single or tag team, since his return to pro wrestling. I mean, I understand he has 20 years of ring rust on him, so for Farouk to say such a thing is not so far-fetched. But it also questions where his mindset is. JBL on his own has no problem winning his single bouts, but ever since teaming up with Farouk, it just seems it's just been a stream of bad luck for the Acolytes. And now Julius Creed, the legal man, in his tag team match. And here he is with a slam on Farouk. Julius coming off the ropes, and a big boot. Farouk is down. And you can see it in JBL's eyes. He doesn't want to admit it, but Farouk might have a point. And there's a DDT by Farouk. Just as I was about to say that Farouk might be right about being washed up, he comes out of nowhere with a wheelbarrow DDT, and look at that strength. It looks like Farouk is not done yet as he uses that size and power, slamming Julius. And now he makes a tag. Bradshaw, now the legal man in his tag team match. And there's Bradshaw with a neckbreaker on the Julius, and here comes the pin. One, and there's a kick out from Julius Creed. And we all know the APA is known for their brutal brawling style, for their ways of bare knuckles. And JBL is showing that right here as he's taking on Julius Creed. And here's a torture rack from Bradshaw. Julius Creed desperately trying to throw those elbows to break the hold. Now he throws Bradshaw into the corner. Julius making attack to his brother Brutus. And here comes a double team move by the Creed brothers. And just look at the teamwork between these two brothers as they just toss Bradshaw around across the ring like nothing. And there's Bradshaw with a clothesline from hell onto Brutus Creed, nearly taking his head right off his body right there. And now Bradshaw has got the sleeper locked in, and a reversal by Brutus. And here comes a belly-to-belly suplex by Brutus Creed. Now tagging in Julius. And there's a riptide by Bradshaw onto Julius Creed. And you can see that definitely knocked the wind out of him And there is Bradshaw with a shoulder takedown coming off the ropes. Julius kicking him off, trying to gain some distance, and Bradshaw rolling out of the ring, trying to gain his breath. Julius now in pursuit as he slaps Bradshaw into the barricade. And now Julius getting himself back in the ring. Bradshaw knocked out outside, and just look at Julius showboating right there. Feeling so good about himself. And here comes a takedown from Julius Creed. And look at him, just embarrassing the hell out of Bradshaw there. And now Julius taking off the straps. You know he's about to get serious. He's about to take this match to the next level, slamming the back of Bradshaw into the barricade. Now Bradshaw rolling inside. Julius Creed now going for the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out from Bradshaw. They grapple up. He goes to the Irish whip. Bradshaw with the reversal. And Bradshaw now getting Julius on the top rope here. Bad intentions in mind. You can see it in Bradshaw's face. He's looking to do some serious damage. And here comes the superplex right off the top rope. You can hear the excitement in the crowd right here. That suplex definitely did a lot of damage to Julius Creed. Now Farouk being tagged in. And here comes Julius with a belly-to-belly suplex onto Farouk. Amazing counter for one half of the Creed Brothers as he now tags in Brutus. And here's a forearm smash from Brutus Creed. Farouk looking to be in a lot of trouble. Now being put in a torture rack position, slammed, and here comes the pin. 1, and there's Bradshaw breaking up the count. And this tag team match continues thanks to the save from JBL. There's another belly-to-belly by Brutus. Now attacking Julius. Farouk tags in Bradshaw. And we're back to Julius going up against Bradshaw here in this tag team match, both the legal men. And it looks like they're now taking this fight outside the ring. And a flying knee by Julius, knocking out Bradshaw. And then look at him. He's now attacking Farouk. Farouk's not even a legal man in this tag team match, and decides to bring up into the mix of it. Brilliant. I don't know if this is considered a dirty strategy or a brilliant strategy, but it looks like the Creed Brothers are trying to take out both members of the APA at the same time. You can look how dazed Farouk is. He's so out of it right now. Brutus knows it. He knows just how helpless Farouk is right now. He's now putting his attention onto Bradshaw. And here comes the Irish whip. Bradshaw hitting the turnbuckle. Brutus now making a tag to Julius. And here comes the Creed Brothers. Double team, high flying move. Julius off the top rope. He's going for the pin. This could be it. 1, 2, and there's Farouk with the save. Bradshaw, I don't know if he would have been able to kick out of that if not for the help of his tag team partner, Farouk. And here comes a clothesline from Julius Creed. Bradshaw coming out with a clothesline of his own. A clothesline from hell. He comes for the pin, and Brutus breaks up the count. Bradshaw keeping the pressure onto Julius Creed. He knows he has him down. He can't afford to allow the Creed Brothers to gain any more advantage. Bradshaw coming off the ropes. And he comes in with a forearm smash. Now Bradshaw has him trapped in that corner. He makes the tag to Farouk. And now Farouk coming in fired up. Kick to the midsection. And Farouk with a razor's edge onto Julius Creed. 1, 2, 3. And the APA get their first tag team victory and Farouk's first victory since returning to wrestling.
Farouk and JBL, the Acolytes.
They did it. At last, the APA finally have gotten a win under the belt, taking on the Creed brothers. And you can just see the smile on Farouk's face. This is his first victory since making his return to pro wrestling after 20 years. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We'll be right back. And coming up next, here on GTW Brawl, we're going to be hearing from our new Women's World Champion, Amanda Price, as she makes her celebration speech here in Richmond, Virginia. Coming up after this quick break. Hey Amanda, I just want to say congratulations on winning the Women's World Title. You deserve it. Honestly. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was thinking maybe tonight we can, I don't know, go out and celebrate? Dio, what is this? You won the title. I just thought, I told you we're done, Dio. I'm not your girlfriend anymore, and after what you did to Steve, I'm not even sure if I can be friends with you. You're going to hold winning a match against me now? It was an ambulance match, Amanda. What was I supposed to do? Just lay down, let him beat me so he can take my belt? You were supposed to listen to your sister and apologize so it never even got that far. Which is right. You are pig-headed. Okay, now that's not fair. I'm the women's champion now, Dio. That means I have a responsibility to represent GTW the same as you. I already have a new number one contender to worry about, so make this easy on both of us and stay out of my way. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go out to the ring and exercise those said responsibilities. And here she is, folks, the new World Women's Champion, Amanda Price. She had an incredible victory last Sunday on our Grand Rumble pay-per-view event where she defeated Rachel Rodriguez in what was a spectacular match. Both competitors gave it everything they have, and you gotta give Rachel Rodriguez her flowers. She definitely put on the performance of a lifetime. But in the end, the title came back to Amanda Price, our now two-time World Women's Champion. And look at the crowd here in Richmond, Virginia, going absolutely crazy off their feet for Amanda Price. Ladies and gentlemen, your two-time Women's Champion, the talented, the beautiful, yours truly, Amanda Price. Of course, I did not get here completely on my own. I have a few out there I am so thankful for. First of all, I am thankful to all of my fans here in GTW. I am nothing without all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Wow. Honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. That was wow. You really know how to make a girl feel home. But you're not the only ones I have to thank here tonight. I also want to thank Rito Rodriguez for giving me not only a shot at the title, but giving me the greatest match of my entire career. Honestly, Rachel, it was an honor competing against you. It really was. That by far was my best match and the greatest moment of my career. That match will forever always be a moment I will cherish forever. One day, I hope I get to face you again because really, Rachel, you were just amazing. I also want to thank my friend, Steven Dynamite, for always believing in me, always supporting me. There is no one better than you, and I truly wish you a speedy recovery because it is just not the same without you. Most of all, I want to thank Brenda Bison. Brenda, who vouched for me, who pleaded her case to get me a shot at the title. Once we were enemies, always fighting one another. I used to think, Brenda, I gotta be honest, I used to think you were a narcissist that could not see past your own hubris. I have never been happier to be wrong. I now see you as a woman who cares deeply for this sport. A competitor with great integrity. We may have been rivals, but I can safely call you my friend. I believe that there's a new number one contender. Brenda, when I settle my business with Asuka, I want you to be my next opponent. It is time we got that match we promised each other. In 3 weeks, I am to face Asuka at Friday Night All-Star. But once I successfully defend my title, Brenda, let us settle our rivalry once and for all. Let us have that match we promised each other on the biggest stage in GTW. Let's face each other for the Women's World Championship at Wrestle Nova. Uh-oh, and here comes Asuka. Baka, baka, baka. You will not make it to Wrestle Nova. Because Asuka will be Women's Champion. You are not ready for Asuka. Not ready for Asuka? I have taken on and won the best woman in GTW. I was trained by an Olympic gold medalist. I am more than ready for you, Asuka. You see, I have a promise to keep to my friend. You know what friends are, right? Oh, I forgot. You don't have any real friends. All you have is your ego and your horrible English. The fact is, Asuka, you're not ready for Amanda Price. Oh, really? Oh, and Asuka attacking the women's champion, Amanda Price. What started off was supposed to be a celebration from the women's champion Amanda Price, and now it's turned to a confrontation between the champion Asuka and Asuka flying out of the ring onto the women's champion, taking her with a sneak attack. And there she is, slamming Amanda Price into the barricade. Such disrespect by Asuka. And now she has Amanda Price. She's bringing her over to the announcer's table here. And there she is, slamming her head right onto the announcer's desk. And Asuka now going for the steel chair. Amanda Price is completely helpless right now. And there she is, just smashing Amanda Price over and over with that steel chair. And she's going in the ring. What's she looking for? She's bringing out a Singapore cane. And just hit Amanda Price across the stomach with the kendo stick. And now we have security coming out, pulling Asuka away from the women's champion. This is supposed to be a night of celebration. Asuka is set to face Amanda Price 3 weeks away from Friday Night All-Star. But it looks like Asuka doesn't want to wait, as she just attacked Amanda Price right here in the middle of her promo. Even don't go away, because coming up we have our #1 contender match for the United States Championship. Chris Jericho made his GTW debut entering the Grand Rumble last Sunday. Now he will be making his in-ring debut one-on-one against Shinsuke Nakamura. The winner will be taking on Rob Van Dam for the United States Championship.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing in at 227 pounds, Chris Jericho.
And here comes the Ayatollah of rock and roller, Chris Jericho, making his singles debut here in GTW. We got to see a little taste when he surprised everyone at the Grand Rumble as the number 20 entry in the Grand Rumble match. And now he's looking to escalate himself immediately, taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. The winner will be the #1 contender for the US title. The winner of this match will be facing Rob Van Dam for the US title. Here comes Shinsuke Nakamura, and you can hear the crowd screaming his song as he comes out to the ring here tonight. He will be Chris Jericho's first opponent here in Grand Tour Wrestling right here on Wednesday Night Brawl. And just listen to that, the crowd singing the music to one of the greatest stars that ever lived in the Japanese circuit of pro wrestling. And I don't know which one of these two is going to be the fan favorite here tonight. We have a lot of crowd singing for Shinsuke Nakamura. We also had a lot of fans screaming for the debut of Chris Jericho. One thing's for certain, only one of these men will be walking out the ring as the #1 contender for the United States title. Here comes the bell. Shinsuke Nakamura starting off strong with a knee to Chris Jericho. And here he is, sizing Jericho up. Shinsuke Nakamura, not an easy opponent to face. A very dangerous man indeed. And we all know, it's no secret how badly he wants to win gold here in GTW. A victory over Chris Jericho would not only escalate him as a name, but would also give him the #1 contender spot, giving him the chance to take on Rob Van Dam for the US gold. Now we have Nakamura sizing up Chris Jericho as he grapples up. And Jericho now getting the arm bar, the arm lock onto Nakamura. And here's a counter by Nakamura, reversing onto Chris Jericho. He's got that hold in tight. Jericho struggling here. Nakamura going for a leg sweep, taking Jericho off his feet. And now Nakamura getting to the top rope. Jericho is dazed. And here's a cross body splash by Shinsuke Nakamura onto Chris Jericho. And Nakamura, he's known for dissecting his opponent, going for those limbs. Jericho with a desperate counter, and he nails the lion salt onto Nakamura. It looks like he might have hurt his knees on that one, and Nakamura taking advantage of Jericho's miscalculation. Nakamura now with the arm lock on the Jericho. Chris Jericho with those shots to the ribs. He goes for a kick to the midsection. And there's a chin buster by Jericho. Amazing counter, and Jericho looking to end things right away. Trying to get Nakamura in the walls of Jericho. And Nakamura able to reverse before Jericho can lock it in. Here he is, Jericho's opponent. Nakamura on that second rope. Double axe handle onto his opponent here. Chris Jericho in a lot of trouble as Nakamura thus far has been dominating this match. Here's Jericho off the ropes. And a super kick by Nakamura. Here comes the pin. 1, 2. A kick out from Chris Jericho. This match continues. Nakamura once again go for a kick. Jericho moves out of the way this time. He sees it coming. Nakamura keeping the pressure on with a reverse Russian leg sweep onto Jericho. There's a lot of people questioning Jericho's decision to sign into GTW, saying that he's old and washed up, that Jericho should consider retirement. He's not in the best shape of his career right now. And Jericho looking to prove everyone who has doubted him wrong now starting to get the upper hand on Nakamura. Chris Jericho beginning to turn the tables in this #1 contender match. Jericho off the ropes, drop kick onto Nakamura. Here comes Jericho with a clothesline. He's starting to gain momentum over his opponent. The crowd here in Richmond, Virginia is going absolutely crazy. He goes for a drop kick. Nakamura sees it coming and a knee to the gut as Nakamura once again takes control in this match. And there's a suplex by Nakamura. Jericho, again, a 30-year vet. He's not a spring chicken. His back probably cannot take as much damage as it used to when he was younger. And there's Nakamura. Fireman's carry. He goes for the pin. 1, 2. A kick out from Jericho. He's still got some fight left in him. And Jericho's head being smashed in the top turnbuckle. Here comes the counter. Jericho going for a reverse DDT. Chris Jericho just won't say die as he goes for another chin buster. Here comes the pin. 1, 2. A kick out from Shinsuke Nakamura. And here he is, dragging Jericho in the middle of the ring, looking to prevent the rope break. Nakamura smells blood in the water. He knows the end is near. He throws Jericho into the corner. A scoop body slam by Nakamura. And he makes his way to the second rope. And a drop kick by Nakamura onto Jericho. Now going for the pin. 1, 2. A kick out. Jericho still in this match, and Nakamura cannot believe it. You can see the visible frustration on his face. Now Nakamura looking to finish this off. He doesn't want another kick out. Here comes a kick. And a super kick taking Jericho down. Lights are out. 1, 2. Another kick out. And everyone's off their feet. Nakamura can't believe it. He's wondering what it's going to take to do the gas recount on Chris Jericho here. And now the two men here at ringside. This is just incredible. I have to give Jericho credit on just his endurance alone. Nakamura has put out so much punishment, and yet Jericho is still able to kick out everything given to him. And here's Jericho with a kick, getting the upper hand, and he just slams Nakamura into the ring apron and steel post. And now Jericho going to town. Jericho fighting back on Nakamura. And Nakamura's head being smashed right into the steel post. You can hear that ding echoing out the arena, and he goes for a second one. Jericho using every tactic he has in the book. The crowd here in Richmond, Virginia is going absolutely wild. And there's a lariat elbow by Jericho. He's going for the pin. 1, 2. A kick out from Nakamura. Now Jericho setting him up. Who knows what this creative mind has in store as Jericho comes off the ropes. Drop kick, taking out Nakamura. And there's a frog splash by Chris Jericho, going for the pin once more. 1, 2, a kick out. Nakamura still in this match, and Jericho starting to get a little frustrated, going for his second pin here. 1, and an even quicker kick out by Nakamura. Jericho going for open hand chop, German suplex. Jericho turning the tide in this match. Nakamura kicking Jericho off, getting the reversal. He now has Jericho in a finals carry. And a huge slam into the ring. Jericho was doing so well there, and Nakamura with a last man counter, now getting the pin. 1, 2, and Jericho again with the shoulder up. Nakamura now arguing with the referee. You can see how frustrated he is. He is literally arguing with the referee right now, saying, no, that was not a 2 count. And there's the buzzsaw kick from Nakamura. 1, 2, 3, and he finally keeps Jericho down. Nakamura now the #1 contender for the U.S. Championship. And what the hell is Hercules doing here? Oh no, Hercules, what are you doing? Hercules looking to make good on his promise. And here's Nakamura. Nakamura coming into the ring to save Chris Jericho from the ambush. And that's respect between two opponents right there. Hercules looking to make good on his promise. What he said to Charles Elliot, that he was going to take someone out here tonight, and looked like Chris Jericho was about to be his next victim, and Shinsuke Nakamura coming out to save him. And even though Nakamura has just ruined Jericho's chances of being #1 contender, I suppose Jericho now owes Shinsuke Nakamura a huge thank you, because that would have been it. In Jericho's condition, there would have been no fighting back from that ambush. But this still goes to say that no one is safe from Hercules' wrath until he gets what he wants from directors Charles Elliot. No one is safe. Coming up next here on Brawl, we have our main event. Speaking of the old gods, it was on Sunday night at our pay-per-view when Brenda Bison and Andre Armstrong challenged Hercules and Amber Charlotte. They were unable to attain the victory, but tonight they'll have a chance of redemption as they go up against Damian Maximus and Rebecca Troy. It's going to be the Red Faction versus the Olympians. Coming up here on our main event for Wednesday Night Brawl. And here comes the Red Faction, the team of Andre Armstrong and Brenda Bison.
Set for one fall. On the way to the ring, the European champions, the Russian gladiator, Andre Armstrong, and the assassin, Brenda Bison, the Red Faction.
I gotta say, the reception in Europe was much brighter than it is here in Virginia. Andre Armstrong, the European champion, swearing to get justice for his friend Jamie Hayter after she suffered a brutal beating in the hands of Hercules and Amber Charlotte. And now it seems the Red Faction going to war with the Old Gods as they're about to get into this tag team match against the Olympians.
And their opponents, the Olympian Rebecca Troy and Damian Maximus, the Olympians.
And here's the team of Damian Maximus, the son of Charles Elliot, the man who renounced his father in order to join the Old Gods. Now he's partnered with Rebecca Troy, and together they form the Olympians. It was on Dystopia where Rebecca Troy was so close to winning a fatal four-way match that would have named her the very first GTW Women's European Champion. But it was for naught. But tonight it's about Maximus and Troy doing the bidding of their master Hercules. This is going to be a tight matchup. The chemistry between these two is undoubtedly unsubtle, as it is between Andre Armstrong and Brenda Bison, as two comrades face off against two lovers here tonight. And it looks like we're going to start with Damian Maximus choosing to open up against Brenda Bison. And we're going to be starting this intergender tag team match with an intergender one-on-one. Brenda Bison already gained the upper hand on Damian Maximus. And there's Rebecca Troy with a shot from behind on Brenda Bison. And there's Damian Maximus with a scoop body slam on Brenda Bison. Thanks to distraction, Rebecca Troy, and a beautiful counter by Brenda Bison, the former women's champion. And there's a kick to the head by Damian Maximus. But I can say it's almost a cowardly act by Damian Maximus starting off the match knowing Brenda Bison was going to be the legal opponent opening the tag team match. And here's now tagging in Rebecca Troy. She goes to the pin. Brenda Bison kicking out. There's those open hand chops by Brenda Bison taking down Rebecca Troy. Now Troy has Bison onto the ropes, using them as leverage, stretching that body, torturing her opponent as much as she can. This is the second time these two are facing off in the span of a week. Brenda Bison and Rebecca Troy were both competitors in that fatal four-way on Dystopia, and they're facing each other once again here on BRAWL in this tag team match. And now Brenda Bison tagging in Andre Armstrong, coming in for the save, systematically taking apart his opponent in this match. And now Andre throwing Rebecca Troy against the ropes. And here comes a German suplex from the Russian Gladiator, the European champion, taking control in his intergender tag team match. tell you what, this has been a crazy week. The Grand Rumble was definitely a pay-per-view for the ages. One Greece will remember for a very long time. And what a night we've had here on Brawl. We've had the in-ring debut of Chris Jericho being ambushed by Hercules and saved by Nakamura. Hayley Webb now the #1 contender for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Confrontation between Amanda Price and Asuka. And now we're here at our main event, where we have the Olympians going up against the Red Faction. Damian Maximus grabbing Bison by the back of the head. Bison throwing those elbows. And Bison, if she is anything, she is a fighter. She will take you to your limit. She doesn't care if you're Damian Maximus. She doesn't care if you're Stone Cold Steve Austin. She doesn't care if you're a Hulk Hogan. And there's Damian going for the back of the leg on Brenda Bison. And here comes a fisherman suplex onto Brenda Bison, nearly knocking the wind out of her. Now, Damian making the tag to his partner, Rebecca Troy. And there's Troy with a lariat takedown onto Bison, going for the pin. An immediate kick out, still very early in tonight's main event intergender tag team match. Rebecca Troy now making the tag to Damian Maximus, and they're throwing Brenda Bison against the ropes. Double hit toss by the Olympians. And there's Maximus just brutally smashing that knee into the top of the head of Bison, and Bison again with a counter, sweeping the legs of Damian Maximus. And here comes a leg lock. Damian immediately fighting his way out of it. And here it comes on the second turnbuckle, waiting for Brenda Bison to get to her feet. And here's a double axe handle. Bison sees it coming as she rolls out of the way. She goes for the Irish whip. Maximus off the ropes, and he counters Brenda Bison's kick. Now throwing an Irish whip of his own. Bison grabbing the ropes to break the leverage, but Maximus still grabbing hold of his opponent. And now he has her against those ropes with a DDT, using those ropes for the extra leverage, and Andre Armstrong saving the match. Oh no, Maximus setting her up. I feel a divine judgment, and now Brenda Bison counters. Wheelbarrow DDT. Damian Maximus attempting to use his finisher move, and then Brenda Bison with an amazing counter. Now tagging in the European champion enters Andre Armstrong. And here he goes with a German suplex. Maximus goes flying across the ring. He makes a tag. Rebecca Troy now in the ring against the Russian Gladiator. And Andre Armstrong going for a powerbomb. Here comes the pin, and Damian Maximus breaking up the count. Andre off the ropes, kick to the face to Rebecca Troy. And grapple up. Andre Armstrong going for the Irish whip. Rebecca Troy in the corner. He makes the tag to Brenda Bison. And a kick to the midsection. Brenda Bison now setting her up. And around we go. I'll tell you, if the slam didn't do it, the dizziness sure does. And now Andre, the legal man in this match, raking the eyes of Rebecca Troy. The Russian Gladiator now making his way to the top turnbuckle with a drop kick onto the Olympian Empress, Rebecca Troy. the European champion, taking control. Now placing Rebecca Troy in a submission hold. She's got no, and Rebecca Troy, amazing counter, ducking the shoulder, rolling her way out of the submission hold. I have to admit, that was very good technique by Rebecca Troy. And here's Maximus attempting to intercept Andre Armstrong outside the ring, and found out the hard way just how technical the European champion can be. There's a bulldog with Rebecca Troy reversing Andre Armstrong. Andre attempting a clothesline, and Rebecca Troy with a spear onto Andre. Here comes the pin. 1, 2, and Brenda Bison with a save at the very last minute. There's Troy with Irish Whip. Andre now in the corner. Troy makes the tag to Damian Maximus. And here he is slamming Andre Armstrong's head into the top turnbuckle. And there's a heel kick into the leg of Andre Armstrong. Again, using that rope's leverage. And we're seeing just how dirty Maximus can fight here, using every dirty trick the old gods have taught him. And then he makes a bad tag. Rebecca Troy in the ring. Andre desperately trying to get the tag to Brenda Bison. Rebecca Troy preventing it. And here's a reversal, and Andre now has the sleeper onto Rebecca Troy, and Maximus able to break it up. Thank goodness Maximus able to get in there and save Rebecca Troy, because that was on tight. I don't know if Rebecca Troy would have been able to counter it this time. And now, thanks to the help of Damian Maximus, Rebecca Troy now in control, and here's a counter from Andre Armstrong. He goes for the Irish Whip. Rebecca Troy now in the corner. And here comes the Russian salute. An axe kick right into the head of Rebecca Troy, now going for the pin. 1, 2, and Rebecca Troy, amazing in-ring awareness, grabbing the rope, and the referee has no choice but to call for a rope break. And now Rebecca Troy countering the offense with a DDT. She gets to the second rope. And a Superman punch by Rebecca Troy. Now going for the pin. There's a kick out right on Andre Armstrong. Rebecca Troy now making the tag to Damian Maximus. And the Olympians thus far taking control of this match. Andre Armstrong with a quick counter. An Irish Whip into the corner. Andre has Damian right where he wants him as he tags in Brenda Bison. And here comes a double team maneuver by the Red Faction. Now Bison coming in. Cradle suplex. 1, 2, and Rebecca Troy breaks up the count. Now throwing in the corner. She makes a tag to Andre Armstrong. The Red Faction throwing Damian Maximus off the ropes with a double shoulder tackle. And now the Red Faction taking control of this match. Andre Armstrong lifting Maximus like a sack of potatoes. And look at that expert slam by the European champion, Andre Armstrong. He goes for an open hand chop. They grapple up. Andre now going for a scoop slam. Maximus seems to be in a lot of trouble. He's going for the pin. 1, 2, but Maximus kicks out. And Andre now attempted to use the rope as leverage and got caught by the referee. You can see a little smirk on Maximus. I guess you can say game recognized game, recognizing that little technique. You can hear Maximus murmur before getting slammed over there. thing. You haven't given up your old heel ways. I think that Myers just set Andre Armstrong over the edge. Now applying the submission. And Damian Maximus taps out. The Red Faction get the victory.
Here are your winners, the Russian Gladiator, Andre Armstrong, and the Assassin, Brenda Bison, the Red Faction.
Amazing victory by the Red Faction. They failed to end Hercules' reign of terror at the Grand Rumble, but they might have secured just a little bit of redemption right here on Brawl. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in for tonight's broadcast for Wednesday Night Brawl. Don't forget to tune in this Saturday as we head to Toronto, Canada for GTW Dystopia. If you are watching on Twitch, don't forget to follow. I am only 2 away from reaching associates. And for anyone who's watching this content on my YouTube channel, Infinite Fantasy if/youtube.com, don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment. I want to hear all you beautiful people. I want to hear your voices. I want to hear what you have to say about GTW. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when new episodes of GTW come near you. This is your host, Infinite Fantasy, saying, may your fantasies be infinite.